Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Pouletsand, and my presentation is on the World Wildlife Fund, a presentation by me for Human Services, University of North Texas, Dallas. This is Human Services 3330-0072, Professor Dr. Colvin, and today is December 8th, 2023. So the World Wildlife Fund. They're located at 1250 24th Street, Northwest Washington, D.C., 20037. Their global headquarters are in Gland, Switzerland. So because they service the entire world, their U.S. location is in Washington, D.C., but they do have headquarters in Switzerland. Their website is www.worldwildlife.org. Here we have some photos of some really cute meerkats. Moving on, the history and background of the World Wildlife Fund. It was established in 1961 and was founded by a group of individuals, including Julian Huxley, Prince Bernard of the Netherlands, and Prince Philip and the Duke of Edinburgh. The Director General of the British government agency Nature Conservancy actually officially founded the WWF. The organization was created in just a matter of months, and its mission is to conserve nature and reduce the most pressing threats to diversity and life on Earth. Their vision for the World Wildlife Fund is to build a future where people live in harmony with nature. Moving on from history and background. So this is a cute little panda. As y'all know, the World Wildlife Fund, I'm sure y'all have seen the logo is the panda bear that was actually chosen and established with in the few matter of months in 1961. They chose the panda bear, which I think is super cute. So the World Wildlife Fund operates in over 100 countries across all continents and serves a global population of irrespective of race, age, ethnicity, religion, or income status. So they serve everyone. They're a global organization, and it's relevant to everybody because it's centered around the conservation of forests, oceans, water, wildlife, food, climate. So it's very important that their work is very important, and it relates to all of us. It has to do with every single person. Without their work, we wouldn't have a lot of different policies implemented today, including the Tropical Forest Conservation Act, which prohibits illegal wood trafficking, which I didn't even know that that was a thing. Excuse me. I didn't know that there was such a thing as illegal wood trafficking, but that was a policy that they implemented to prevent deforestation. Also, they have policies that end wildlife trafficking. So for endangered species or potentially endangered species being owned in homes and being trafficked across the world. So that's also, that was actually kind of a new policy that was implemented in 2016. So they service everybody, the populations and everyone. One of the big programs that, oh goodness, sorry. One of the programs, the many programs that they offer is, one of them is the species program. So that's what I'm going to focus on. It focuses on the conservation of species that are critical to their respective ecosystems. Here we have some polar bears. So one of the big issues that we have with polar bears right now is they are migrating from their current ecosystems because the ice is melting. And so they've got to move to somewhere where there might be more food options and habitat options because they're losing their habitat. So this species program helps conserve the species that are critical to their respective ecosystems. It includes species like tigers, elephants, rhinos, snow leopards, polar bears, etc. The program includes efforts to protect these species from threats like poaching, habitat loss, and working on sustainable development in these areas. So like I had mentioned with the melting ice in the North and South poles where these polar bears are native to, they they are losing their habitat due to global warming. So it's really important for the World Wildlife Fund to conserve their habitats. That way we can have polar bears for many years to come. Other programs that we're not going to dive too far into are they have programs for climate, programs for food, forests, freshwater, global environment facility. They influence policy and infrastructure. They preserve oceans, and they serve people and communities. They have science programs and the Markets Institute, as well as where the species program originates is the wildlife conservation program. So it's a smaller aspect of the wildlife conservation program, the species program. In addition to these programs and the policies that that the World Wildlife Fund has a hand in, are things like the Safeguarding Oceans, the Paris Climate Agreement, which I believe was passed in the early 2000s recently. Also the 2023 Farm Bill. So they kind of have a hand in creating and implementing rules and regulations and conservation efforts to preserve our environments and make sure that we're not taking too much from them, that we're redistributing efforts to keep everything growing, but also for resource purposes. So, for example, the reseeding of the Great Plains, Airwick is actually the corporation that has put a lot of financial backing for the reseeding of the Great Plains. This helps with creating more flowers and botanicals, and it promotes essential oil flowers. So the flowers that are used in Airwick materials, they're reseeding these flowers as kind of a, hey, we take and we give, and that's a good thing to do. In addition to those, in addition to the Great Plains program, Coca-Cola also has a partnership expansion. Coca-Cola came under huge fire for water pollution. So the Coca-Cola factories came under a lot of fire for water pollution, and they have put money back into conservation efforts to kind of oppose their I'm sorry, I'm losing the word, the conflict against what their water pollution is doing. So that's a really great thing, is Coca-Cola, because they were under such heavy fire, a lot of companies are actually putting in more environmental conservation efforts as well. Gap, Procter and Gamble are also contributing. And then one that we'll actually talk about is the Warner Brothers tiger protection policies. So the outcome of the World Wildlife Fund species program, it's seen significant success with the help of Warner Brothers. For instance, the tiger population in Nepal has nearly doubled from 2009 to 2018 due to the conservation efforts. And they have collaborated with local communities there and also governments, as well as Warner Brothers. So it's a clear demonstration of the organization's commitment to wildlife conservation and the effectiveness of its initiatives. So when, we collectively as a community all pitch in, and we have these big corporations that can fund some of these projects, then like for the tiger protections, it's called Project Cat. And it's to help maintain their habitats and increase their numbers, because we had very low numbers of tigers for such a long time there. This is, these are all great things. This company, this organization is so broad because they service so many different aspects, and it really does get all the way back to us. We can go walk in the park and we can see, in the creek or in the streams, that there's less trash, or that, birds are migrating at the proper times, and a lot of different aspects of our environment around us, we can see plainly the work that's being put in and how important it is for us. You know, as humans, it's our responsibility to make the world a better place. So that's what the World Wildlife Fund is all about. These are my references. There's only a few from the World Wildlife Fund, but because this is such a broad organization, I strongly encourage you to take a look at all of their programs and policies and all of the different programs that they have. They also offer education materials on species conservation, food waste, so teaching kids how to not waste food, which I think is a really important thing. They also have a lot of just fun learning materials, little quizzes and activities and arts and crafts. So I highly encourage y'all to take a look at their website. And if you have kids, or if you teach kids, or even if you're interested in yourself, just sitting down and doing a little arts and crafts or learning a little bit about different conservation efforts of different species and wildlife, I highly recommend it. So with the strengths and weaknesses of the World Wildlife Fund, I think that they need a lot more corporation backing. And so it's gaining a lot of ground when it comes down to it. We've got so many good corporations backing different efforts across the globe, but we could really use more. We could use so much more, and we could use a lot of not just money, but then people and numbers. You know, if we try to get involved ourselves and do what we can, then we can all hand in hand create a better world. And that's what the World Wildlife Fund's goal is. So I hope that you enjoyed my presentation. I hope that it reaches the time limit, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and I'll see y'all hopefully next semester.